You never know who you're going to impact on the way to your why. And today we have a special guest on the live virtual conversation with Adrian Mays, William Q-Tip Pilch, Rebirth, the Spirituality, and the Power of Reinvention. Willie and I, Q-Tip and I call him Q-Tip, we met about 2 years ago as we have a similar love for AI and personal growth as well as transformation, becoming the best version of ourselves. So today I'm honored to welcome Q-Tip to the live virtual conversation series. And he honestly has a spiritual deepening of spirituality and creativity, as well as a continuous rebirth. And so we're going to dive in here today about over 4 decades. Willie has walked alongside Christianity, Islam, and explores Buddhism, reincarnation. But Q-Tip, quick taking it personally, his life is a testament to a transformation through faith, humor, creativity, and service. So he's the author of Three Onion Rings, a spiritual layered book series blending imagination, humor, and personal growth. A creative visionary transforming discarded, overlooked objects into meaningful art that tells a story of rebirth. He's a spiritual explorer drawing wisdom from Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism to fuel his lifelong journey of inner peace. He's a community servant, volunteers to drive others to retreats, supporting circles, as well as recovery events as part of his healing mission. He's a kindness catalyst. Doing my random act of kindness, he made sure that we actually connected to be able to spread encouragement and compassion and uplifting others to everyone that he encounters. And he's a living proof of resilience. Despite ongoing health challenges, even today, Q-Tip continues to rise, reinvents, and radiates in joy through the rebirth, as he shared with me with his creativity. So 3 things you're going to take away from today in this live virtual conversation: how Willie was able to embrace rebirth and build joy on top of his hardest seasons, why exploring multiple spiritual paths can deepen your personal truth, and how to turn pain, creativity, and humor into tools for healing and reinvention. So despite these health challenges, Q-Tip has taken time out of his schedule here today and continues to rise with writing books and making art from for guidance, supporting spiritual communities and spreading kindness wherever he goes. I love this factor that, we're able to connect with real stories. We're not gurus. We're just real people that are trying to be the best version of ourselves. And I have the pleasure of bringing Q-Tip to the live virtual conversation. What up, though, Q-Tip? Adrian Mays, how are you, my friend?
Oh, thank you. You're absolutely amazing, Adrian. You just are one of my most precious friends that I've got, and I I love being with you.
No, the feeling is mutual, my friend. That is a true statement. But we, like we say, we met almost a couple of years ago. But let's talk a little bit about those that don't know you, just a little bit of background. Who is Q-Tip? Quick taking it personal.
Well, sometimes a picture tells 1,000 words. So this is a piece of art that I've recently done.
Oh, wow.
This may tell 1,000 words. This is, I call this piece my soul,
Mm.
and this is who I am. And if you look closely, you can see books on there. You can see a little troll doll here. It's sculpted with polymer clay and painted, and then found objects are put onto it to create this piece of art. Now,
Oh, wow. Q-Tip?
now, that would be if you were to describe me, that may be the best way to do it. A picture gives 1,000 words. What's your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. Creativity. I mean, that was how long did it actually take you to create that? I mean, I have so many questions just from seeing the piece of art. Like you threw me off with that. That was amazing. You're so talented. So what inspired you to kind of create your image of what your life looks like into art?
Well, I was discovering the word soul. What is a soul? And you hear about the Catholics saying, well, if you do this, your soul's going to hell, and you're going to purgatory. Your soul's going to purgatory. And you listen to the Buddhists. They say, oh, your soul can be reincarnated, and you come back as an elephant, and then they have all these people that believe that the soul is comes into you, and there's others that believe that it happens amongst you. And so I did a lot of research. I said, I really don't know what the soul is.
Hmm.
And so I went on AI and typed in what is a soul, and tell me about what people believe about souls, and came back with, well, the Islams believe this, and the Buddhists believe this, and the Catholics believe this. And then I thought, well, I need to come up with some sort of belief about what is my soul and who am I, and what am I called on this planet to do.
Okay. And so when you actually did that, that was so the outcome was the piece that you created. Is that
Nope,
correct?
was the piece that are recreated, and in this piece it has like a body parts. Like if you look over here, you can see a heart. And
Right.
that's my body part. And over here are books. I've been a book learner. I just have tons and tons of books. I'm looking over at on my shelf over here. I've got Hope and Recovery. I got the Law of Attraction, A Course in Miracles. I got the Bible, the Millionaire Mind. I mean, I could go on and on and on about all the different books and stuff that I studied in regards to who am I, and what is my soul.
Hmm. So share a little bit more. You've walked so many paths, my friend, like Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, like, and you've been reborn even more than once. Even me asking you in regards to shaving, that's kind of the rebirth. Now, what does rebirth mean to you today? Like, what does that mean for you?
Well, sure. Rebirth is something that can happen to me at any moment. I believe. I
Hmm.
believe that I can be reborn in this moment, and meaning that rebirth is happening constantly, even in this lifetime. Each moment that I'm happening, something new can arise and something new can change, and I can have what a sense of tiny rebirth, or a ah moment, a ha ha moment, or an awful moment. The awful moments can be what then transform me into something that's different. Make
I,
sense?
I like it. Okay. Understandable. And so, I first met you. We called you Q-Tip. Quit taking it personal. How long? Where did that origination of Q-Tip come from, and why did you adopt that as part of your name?
Sure. So what I was noticing is I was noticing people would say something like, "Oh, that's a stupid shirt," or that shirt looks bad, and I would take it personally. I go,
Hmm.
well, maybe they're right, and I'd go home and change the shirt, and and so I became like a real people pleaser. Like if
Hmm.
someone were to say something, well, you need to do this, I would go and do it, thinking I got to try to please people, and then someone might say, well, you're killing people, and I'm like, no, I'm not killing people. Oh, or they'll say something like, well, you really don't have any spirituality. You just have a whole bunch of religions and rhythm. And I would say, quit taking it personally. I'd have to tell myself, quit taking it personally. That's your belief. That's
Hmm.
not my belief. That's about you, not about me. And anytime I took something personally, it was one of the most selfish things I could do. It was
Hmm.
so selfish because it was never ever about me. It
Huh.
was about you and about your sickness, or your judgment, or your ways that think I should be. And so I took on quit taking it personally, QTIP, and started calling myself that because on a regular daily basis I kept bumping into it. I bump into it almost all the time. I was bumping it. I still bump into it, and I think I have to step back and say, this is not about me. It's very
Hmm.
selfish to think it's about me. It's all about me, and it's not about me. It could be about you. And
Right.
so I was able to transfer. That's a sense of rebirth. That, oh wow, this is probably not about me.
And
Probably
that makes
it is.
sense, right? The people pleasing part, kind of reverse. I hear like a reverse role there. Like, so in other words, my perspective, don't take it personal on me asking you a question or anything like that. Just answer the question and don't take it personal. But how long have you started in using that, in common? Has it been all
About
your life?
6 years. I
6 years?
started 6 years. I picked it up. I picked it up from another spiritual guy, and he had
Mhm.
said it. I thought he said Q-tip things, and he said, I was like, Q-tip thing. Well, what are you talking about? Q-tips things. You're taking it personally, and I thought, oh my God, I do that constantly, every single day of my life. I mean, even just yesterday, I was like, okay, this is not about me, it's about them, and I can just say, I can allow someone. It allows me to allow someone to be imperfect. I mean,
Exactly.
I just had this belief going that I have to be perfect, and that just has ruined me and tore me to pieces. And then when I believe I have to be perfect, I also make it that you have to be perfect, and that really doesn't work for me.
And it doesn't work anyway. I have that same problem. So, but just slowly realizing that you're perfectly imperfect where you are right in this moment. And even when I transition to the next question, like, what was your darkest chapter that you can actually share, maybe of your spirituality or mentally or even physically, maybe?
So there's been a lot, because
Okay.
here's the way life is. Life is up and down, up and down.
Right.
I'm going to share my
Okay.
worst moment, and it happened in 1976. And my brother Greg and me were at home, and he wanted to go play basketball with me, and I didn't want him to play basketball with me. He was 26 and I was 21, and he wouldn't. When I was growing up, he wouldn't let me play basketball with me,
Mm-hmm.
and so wouldn't let me play with him. So I said, okay, I can get even now. Yeah, I'm not going to let him play with me. And he had been struggling with drugs and been struggling with a lot of addiction, and came back home to get some help. And I said, no, you can't go play with me. And what happened next is we got into a physical fight, and I was fighting him and saying, no, you're not going to go. And I'm holding him, and I'm choking him in the bathtub and saying, no, you're not going anymore. And I was able to physically. He's 6 years older than me. I was able to physically fight him. I said, I'm not going to let him beat me up anymore. And I left him and went up to my friends to play basketball. And when I came home, I walked in the house and said, I'm home, are you home? And I walked downstairs, and he was laying. He had taken a shotgun and blown his chest out with a shotgun. And I saw this, and I was devastated. I
Oh,
was
wow, really?
the worst moment of my life. I blamed myself for a suicide. If I had not gotten in a fight with him, if all this mind talk about I should have let him go play basketball with me. I should have
Right.
uh, and I blamed me for his death for the next 6 to 10 years, and started using lots of drugs and started drinking an awful lot, blaming myself for his suicide. That's the darkest moment in my life.
Jesus, Willie, I did my prayers. So so you said for 6 to 10 years that I see these are not scripted, as you can see. Like, so how did you get through that mentally? Like, how did you? I mean,
Sure.
that had to be heavy on you, right?
So yeah, the way I attempted to get through it was to drink and drug as much as I could. And so on a daily basis, I would get drunk, and then I started smoking pot, and pot would help me ease the pain. And so for the next 6 years until I turned 27, that's what I used to ease the pain, and it worked. It worked really well. It took it
Mm,
away, and I didn't have to deal with it, and I could just ignore it, and I could let it go. So that's one way I learned how to deal with it.
goodness gracious. So, was there any moments through that time frame that you wanted to give up yourself? Like, it was there some like did you have therapy or something to help you along the way?
No, but I there came a point. See, um, I
Dang,
have
you hit me with one I wasn't, as you can see. Golly, live, right? I'm seriously, oh my gosh, my friend. Oh,
so so one of the things that I heard was that if you commit suicide, you're going to hell.
right,
And I thought, wow, my brother's going to hell. I mean, that was what I'd grown up listening to. I'm going to say Catholics, because that's who told me that he's
right.
going to go to hell because he committed suicide. And he was such a loving brother growing up. He taught me how to dribble a basketball, and taught me how to eat right, and taught me how to play, and taught me how to climb a tree. And he really was a great older brother. I mean, he was the one I think that taught me how to wipe my butt. And so he was really a loving brother. And I thought, what kind of God would send him to hell forever? Like, that's the worst kind of God I could ever imagine. This God that's, I mean, I was thinking if I'm a dad and I have a kid and he makes a mistake, a bad mistake, and I'm going to say, well, you made a mistake, so I'm throwing you to hell forever. I thought, that's what I was living with.
Right.
And I found some spirituality, and I got rid of that belief. I just threw the belief out that my God is not a punishing forever God that's going to throw someone to hell forever.
Right.
It's just not in my body. And so I have a loving God that's able to forgive anything.
That's right. That's right. Wow, my friend. So your faith had to be tested, right? Even with transforming to now, I know you had some help challenges as well, but with your mindset, your faith had to be challenged. What helped you turn to, and what did that really honestly reveal about your own strength? Like you said, your God wouldn't do anything like that, but gosh.
So one of the things I did is I'd read some things, and one of the things I'd read was an author by Herbert Spencer.
Okay.
And Herbert Spencer's one, I might not misquote this, but he said, "Contempt prior to investigation will leave a man in everlasting ignorance." And I did not want to be stupid. Last thing in the world, I wanted to be stupid. In college, I was a memory expert. I could memorize a whole book and tell you what was on page 33, and tell you what was on 66, and tell you what was on 99. And I had learned how to memorize book through a couple authors. One was Jerry Lucas, and he was a basketball player, and he wrote this book, the memory book, with another author, which at the moment I can't think of who he is. But they had taught me how to memorize things, and so I believed I was stupid. So I had a coach tell me that if you're a jock, you're stupid, and I thought, well, that's a bunch of malarkey.
Right. I got that too a lot when I went in college playing basketball too. You want to go into engineering? What's wrong with you? Like, like we're not smart too. But anyway, keep on.
They're really smart. They have the physical smartness that other people don't have. They can move their hand and follow through and know the arc and know exactly how much pressure and stuff to put on the arm. They have extreme physical intelligence. They are far from being stupid, and that belief had been one of those beliefs I'd be thrown out the window. And I didn't need to prove it, but I was out proving it. I was out trying to prove that I was smart.
Well, you've proven it. So I'm just saying, like, everybody has their own perspective, right? And you mentioned too, like, people arriving, right? Being within when did you feel like you were riven? You said 27. You were starting to forgive yourself and find religion. What made you choose art to express yourself in regards to that?
So when I was in third grade, they had always asked me, "What do you want to be?" I don't know. I want to be a dentist because my dentist, Johnny Larson, his father was a dentist, and Johnny Larson had a whole bunch of presents. And it's like, well, his father must be rich because he's got a whole bunch of presents. So I just want to be rich so I can have a whole bunch of presents. So I thought, if I'm a dentist, then I'll be rich and make a whole lot. But around third grade, I fell in love with books, and I started reading books, and I fell in love with going to the library, getting books and reading them. And they wanted to, actually, I was such a good reader, they wanted to move me up to fourth grade. And I said, no, I'm not going to go to fourth grade. Those boys will beat me up. And so I didn't. I said, I'm going to stay in third grade. And so I stopped reading when they told me they were going to move me up.
Kids and our mindset, right?
Yeah, stopping reading, and I did.
Right. Right.
Not needing another book until ninth grade. I did not read a book. And
really?
yeah, really, until ninth grade, I did not read another book.
So how did you go through the different years and get to the ninth grade without reading a book, Willie?
I don't know how I did it, but
That's
I did
crazy.
not read a book. I remember cheating on this one. The teacher wanted me to read a book. And I tried to read it and couldn't read it, and so I just made up a bunch of stuff. And I actually told my mom I'm not ready to go to school and lied. And she let me stay home in the morning. And I got to school afternoon. The teacher gave me an F because I didn't do the report on the book. So I didn't read a book until ninth grade. And the point of to answer your question, in third grade, I wanted to be an artist and a writer.
Right.
I went to my dad. They said, "What are you going to be when you grow up?" I said, "Well, I want to be an artist and an author." And he said, "No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to make any money doing that. That's not a good idea. Look at your mother. She's an artist, and how much has she made?" And my mother had not sold a piece of art. So he encouraged me not to be an artist and not to be an author. And so I said, "Okay, then I'll try to be like him." And he was an All-American basketball player, played for the Lakers, played for the Sheboygan Redskins, Baltimore Bullets, and professional basketballer, All-American basketball player for the University of Wyoming. And I said, all right, I'm going to try to be like him. I'm going to try to be an athlete like him. And so for the next 15 years, I tried to be an athlete. I made it into college, but it wasn't in my heart.
Right.
What was in my heart was to be an artist and to be an author. That's what was in my heart. And I would have been able to forgive him and say, yeah, I wouldn't want my kid to go through and be discouraged by trying to be something like an artist or trying to be something like an author, because it's really a hard. I mean, I've written a book, but I mean, it's not exploding yet, but and my art's been sold all over the world, but at the moment I'm not selling anything at the moment, and it is a tough go to be in the creative fields.
Definitely understandable, but tell me about the 3 onion rings. That's the series that you have, correct? With the book that you're saying, and even with the art, you said you sold it all over the world. It's crazy, but yeah, I want to hear about both, honestly.
So the 3 onion rings. This is the 3. I know it's backwards on the screen, but it's a book. It's a book I wrote because I've been writing it since college, since I was 22. I've been writing this fantasy story. So I wanted to write children's books, and so and I actually was discouraged by a mentor. I said, "Listen, you aren't going to make much money as a children's author," and which is true. I mean, I've talked to a lot of authors, and I have not met too many successful children's book authors. Dr. Seuss probably would. I never met him, but to really be good, something has to happen. So, okay. So, what was the question? I had just got.
So I was asking about the 3 onion rings. What made you, that series as well as art? You said you had that all over the world. Like, where's your art habits?
Yeah, so I decided to write the book, and the book has 3 parts to it. It has the past, and I talk about my past in the book, and I talk about the death of my brother Greg, and I talk about moments that happened with my father growing up, and where all my early decisions and beliefs got built, and then I shift into the moment, and I talk about what's going on with me in the moment. So like today, I'd be like, well, what's going on with you in the moment? Right now, I'm recovering from a major infection, recovering from an internal bleeding, and recovering from a head concussion, and I'm totally in recovery at the moment, and what's happening at the moment. And so I'd have a chapter that talks about in the moment, and then I talk about the past, and then I talk about the moment, then I talk about the future, and the future's the fantasy. The future's really, a lot of times that's all it is. It's just a fantasy. It's just something that wants to be created, that I have it in my mind that I can do it, and so I go forward and just attempt to do it. And as I'm attempting to do it, I make a lot of mistakes, and it's really, really when people talk about the journey, it is the journey in saying, all right, I'm going to be a billionaire. What does that entail? It entails doing this, and it's the journey that's really kind of cool. It's like you're going through that journey, and I'm still going through the journey of being an author and an artist, and it's incredible. It really is incredible when you think about it being the journey.
It is because I'm on my billionaire journey. Day 483, I believe, is of the billionaire journey. But within that journey, have you tried to put your book on Amazon? And what art? Like, where can we find your art? Like,
yeah, you can find. Well, my art's my art's not.
It's not out there yet.
It's in my garage and in my house. It's all over my walls, and it's all over the place. I had a website for a long time. Right now, you could go in on my Facebook page and go back into my past pictures and find a lot of pictures of it. And the book, you can buy the book on Amazon, and you just go look for the 3 Onion Rings, and you can buy the book on Amazon.
That's awesome, Willie. See the things that you learned. So talk like the journey that you've been through, and in regards to mindset, what shaped you growing up? Would you say what shaped who you are growing up? If you had to kind of put your finger on some types of specifics.
So I think in early decisions, we make early decisions all the time.
Right.
And those early decisions that I made when I was little shaped me for what I was going to be later on in life. And
right.
Yeah, when I was little, there was a lot of dysfunction in my house because my father was in World War II and was in a foxhole, and a Japanese guy had thrown a hand grenade into the foxhole and blew everybody up. But he lived through it, and so he had a lot of PTSD and became an alcoholic, and so I lived in a lot of PTS stress at home, and so what shaped me is because of all the stress. I was a bedwetter, and I was like felt like something was wrong with me, and why am I wet in the bed all the time, and why am I not like my other brothers, so my dad got drunk one night and did a bunch of stuff through TV and threw me against the wall, and I was like 5 or 6, and my mom said, "We're going to church," and so we went to the Episcopal church, and at the church they'd send us little boys down into the church school, into the Sunday school, and I had a church teacher by the name of Miss Kurtz who taught me about Noah, and Noah, the animals that got in the ark, and she talked about when he saw a rainbow, that was hope. Right. And so I wore my rainbow shirt today because it symbolizes hope, because I'm hope that something is going to happen. And so she said, pray that Jesus takes away your bedwetting. Mm-hmm. And she says, I want you to pray every day that Jesus takes your bedwetting away. And so for a full year, I prayed, and then we stopped going to church, and I was upset because I kind of liked it.
Right, right.
I mean, it was really fun for me, and so she took it away. This Miss Kurtz would give me a little book that I could read, and I read it every day, and I read it, had little poems in it, stuff about Jesus, and I prayed every day, please Jesus, remove the bedwetting. And about 4 years after praying every day, mm-hmm. and being discouraged every day, and like this is never going to go away. I had a dream one night, and in the dream, Jesus had taken my diapers and was in my bed sheets, and was hanging them on the line out yard to clean them. And I woke up from that dream of Jesus hanging my bed sheets and my diapers, and I woke up, and from that day, I never went to bed again, and I had like a spiritual experience, of spiritual rebirth. Wow, I can maybe believe that Jesus can really heal me.
Right.
So I had a spiritual experience at age 10. So I kept seeking that spirit, kept seeking.
That's amazing, Willie. Your story is, and I found while you were talking, I did find your book on Amazon. So, so I wanted to show it. So, so you just did it in 2024, and this is the hardcover. This is correct, right? This is the book.
Yes, that's the correct one.
Okay. Life unfolds in every fleeting moment, yet amidst its relentless march. How do we rise above mere spectators to become the celebrities of our existence? Did you use AI in this book? Because I know when we first reached out and connected, you were looking at ChatGPT and AI. What part does that play? Mm-hmm.
See, I was dyslexic and couldn't spell. I thought, how am I going to ever write a book if you can't spell? And thank God AI came along. And my grammar was horrible. And so I started using AI, and I'd pump in all the stuff and say exactly what I wanted to say, and then it arranged the words and made just a beautiful, beautiful book for me.
Oh, so what would readers take away from reading this this amazing book? I love the cover. Can you tell me a little bit about the cover too? I'm zooming in a little bit on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pyramid, and in the first few pages of the book I talk about an experience that I had when I was little, which is there's this pyramid in Wyoming called Ames Monument. And when we were little, we got to go into the pyramid because someone had dug out like in the tombs down in Egypt, someone had dug through one of the blocks, and we were able to get into the pyramid, but my dad wasn't big enough to get in there. And so us kids got in there, and we got in there, and there was a tunnel inside of it, or a hallway that you could walk around the whole pyramid, and we happened to see some real shiny stuff on a corner. As we turned around, I ran for the stuff and bonked my head. And that's basically how the story begins. Is I'm running for this shiny thing that we see with our flashlight, and I bonk my head and I go into a fantasy, and so that's kind of how the fantasy begins. And I wanted to say the little shiny things were Coors beer tabs that you could pull off, and someone had been in there, and the beer tabs are. Pop and beer bottle caps were the shiny things that I was running after.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is amazing, Willie. So have you thought? I actually connected, with another author, a few other authors that's done live conversations. Have you thought about reading your book live? So to just reading each chapter live and kind of doing an interpretation of that.
I've not thought of that.
Well, that one's for free. I mean, because I actually got the idea. I can't even say it's my own. 50 Cent Jackson did it when he first did his book, and then read his book live. Right, just read it from front to cover, and it was on, and it became a New York best-selling book by just him reading it live, getting attention to his book, that type of thing. So that was for free. You can do that.
It's on my list of things to do right now. My list is yes.
Got you. So, what role, my friend, does art and nature and even movement play in regards to your healing as of now? Because you mentioned you have some health issues going on as well.
What's your question again?
No worries. So, what role does art and nature and movement play in your healing as of now?
Right now, I'm creating a piece called it's called Helping Hands, and it has all these hands that are coming towards a image, a really cool image of me. It's like has a hand up here. All these different hands are coming towards me, and so I go around and I collect found objects, and so I'm always looking on the ground for found objects, and I've collected like a whole bunch of found objects. And would you like to see the image?
I do. I'm over here like, I do.
Hold 1 second while I go get it.
Yes, of course. And then while he does that, it's so funny. Willie sent me a woodpecker. And I wish I could show it, but the way that he actually perceives with nature has been just eye-opening. And everything happens for a reason. And just while he's doing that, I was telling him, sharing with him in regards to kind of my whole purpose in doing these is helping people with their whole consulting and helping with people getting their story into the next level. So, helping, that's what I do in regards to helping people and sharing your story and being authentic. So Willie's back. I got to check out what he has here. Let's check it out, Willie. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. Oh, that is amazing. Willie, we were talking about doing an art auction for, this, look at your art. That is amazing. So how do you create is it stenciled? That is, how do you actually create your art? And how, people, oh my gosh, Willie, that is amazing.
So this actually I used AI. I've used.
Wait, put that back up, Willie, again, please.
Yeah,
wow.
I've used. I was one of the first digital artists in the state of Wyoming.
Oh my God!
So I learned Adobe Photoshop and Corel Draw, and learned how to do digital art. And so I went into AI, and AI helped me. I told it exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to look like a human that's evolving, and I wanted to have a whole bunch of hands coming towards me, helping me with my life right now. And like one of these hands is Adriana Mays.
Come on, look at me on the picture of her. I love it. And yes, so how would a person be able to purchase things like this? Like, I'm all about monetization, Willie, and everybody has, you're creating, seriously, that would do, you're putting it on canvas. And so if someone would want to actually get work from you, you're an original artist. I'm live with Q-Tip, or the original. That was an amazing picture, my friend.
Well, I used to have a website. I used to have a gallery. I used to have my art in galleries all over the United States, and couldn't make a living at it. So I said, let's just kind of make it a hobby now.
But is the website, you just have to pay for it, or what's the reason you didn't have the website?
I had a website, and I took it down. It was so old. It was like from I created it. I was a webmaster for a while, and I created it in 2000, 2002, 2003, 2004. I created it during that time, so it was pretty old. It was a pretty old website. And during COVID, I told myself, okay, I'm just going to tear it down and start over. But my life just got so busy that I haven't been able to start over. So the gallery I didn't sell very much in, and nor the galleries that I had my art in didn't sell very much. And so I raised the prices up, and I noticed that every time I raised the prices up, someone would buy a piece of art. And so I started.
So how much do your prices start at?
Well, this hands one will be about $4,000, and the one of my soul I don't want to sell yet, but I want to keep my soul.
I want to keep your soul. I bet you do. Golly, that's amazing. So Willie, we got to get you. So. And besides word of mouth, in regards to just getting it out there, that's one thing as entrepreneurs. I'm going to encourage you. This is my sidebar moment to encourage you. You are talented, my friend, but we got to get it out there to show people. Like, how will we know, right? Like, your buyers are out there. We just got to put them out. And this is my word of. I'm just talking to you now. This is as an entrepreneur. I know it's frustrating at times. But you got to continuously put it out there and not give up your hope in regards to your passion. Because I can see the passion, and I'm in the picture too. I'm speaking on that. I'm one of the hands. So we got to get it out there. We got to figure out ways to get out there, really.
Well, I'm in the process of doing all that.
Yes, you are. Now you got Adrian is going to be on you with that as well. Okay, so you're going to be see how God works. See how God works.
Yeah, I know. God works
yes.
in mysterious ways.
Isn't it funny how he works? We're going to talk about that later. So anyway, creating from discarded objects, even with your eyes, putting that together is a gift. Like, in regards to, where does that drive come from? Just putting, like, even that eyesight of what you just showed us, which is amazing. I'm blown away by your talent.
So where does it come from?
Yes. Where does that drive come from?
Well, to answer your question, my belief is it comes from something beyond me, something that comes through me,
Yes.
something. It's like not something that it's something that it's like I am the instrument, and I am told what to do. I
Right.
am told to. I am evoked to be on your show for some reason. I'm evoked to look on the ground and see what I could find. I mean, I'm evoked to take a course, or I'm evoked to fill out a form, or I'm evoked to just rest and to try to listen to what is the next right thing to do.
I'm
And
not going to tell you that just honestly, maybe a week ago, my business partner, her daughter, as well as some family members, we're talking about doing an art auction for our foundation. And so, literally setting it up for next year to have a huge gala, in regards to raising funds for artists that, just needs to get that start in marketing and things of that nature. So when you're saying that it's evoked and it's planned, it really truly is. That's why I am just marveled at how God works, because we still don't know how it's going to work out, because we're at the beginning planning stages. But we talked about having a huge art auction because, again, just getting that talent out there. It's one of those things that you're so talented. Oh my gosh, well, that was an amazing picture. But do you have any fears surrounding, like, just the courage of keep showing up through everything you've been through? How do you do that? What fears do you have, if any?
um,
Uh oh. Anytime somebody laughs before they answer, I always say uh oh. Because I'm gonna get an honest answer, aren't I?
um, well, I've explored them, all of them. Explored fears for as long as I've been in seeking God. I've been in what am I afraid of? 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 Um, uh,
What are you afraid of?
Part of it is, and I've talked it over with advisors and so forth, is uh, uh, it might be it might be well, here's what my advisors or my therapists or my priests or my practitioners or my Buddhas would say. They say, when I don't have the answer, here's what you say. Well, if you had an idea what the fear was, what would it be? So the idea that I think that if I get too successful, or that I won't be able to manage the money very well. Uh, I won't. Uh, 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 I'm also at the age where uh, uh, I mean, I feel like I'm in my third part of my life, and the third part of your life is not the easiest part of your life to be an entrepreneur and start over, and so there's a piece of me that says, yeah, I've tried art auctions. I've tried the galleries all over the country. I've tried the fairs and all the art fairs, and tried that, and didn't work. Why? If you hit a brick wall, why keep hitting the brick wall? I mean, when do you stop and say, okay, that didn't work? Or I sold one piece on the internet from my website. Well, one piece in 6 years, 7 years is like, hmm. do you really want to keep pursuing this, or you probably need a side job? And that's what most artists, and that's what most actors, and that's what most writers do. They've got a side job, a side gig going. And I'm actually in the process of doing a new thing called My Car Tattoos. And what it is you'll have a car, and it will have that tattoo of that piece of all the hands, and it'll be pasted onto the car with with uh, uh, with those tags or whatever they are, the things that they put on them. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Decals, like decals,
Like decals. It'll be a whole car with a decal of like Vincent Van Gogh. Say you want a Starry Night on your car. The whole car would look like Vincent Van Gogh. And you could drive down the street and say, yeah, I got a Vincent Van Gogh car. Or, yeah, I got a Picasso car. And so I'm creating a new business using my art called mycartattoos.com.
I mean, that's a good idea. And that's really honestly because as entrepreneurs, it is like you said, it took 6 or 7 years for you to sell one piece. But when collaborations happen, and that's what I'm working on now, collaborating with other people that are in the same like mind, it's just getting in front of the right audience. But the toughest thing about us as creators, as entrepreneurs, is getting that help, right? I mean, because everything costs. So that's where I hope that this live conversation is that seeing it only takes one, if the right person to see the vision like I see the vision, it just to be able to help other people along the way. So you're in the right place. You're with Adrian. You're stuck with me for life. So that
I know I'm in the right place. You know how I know that?
How's that?
I'm right here.
Exactly where you're supposed to be today. That's who you are. Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking to you.
Right. So tell me, what does the next chapter look what does it look like for Q-Tip? Like in regards to, like you said, because I don't want to, have you feel like you've given up because you're in the third chapter of your life, like you shared, and it took years for you to get to that one sale? Do you feel like it's that art and creativity has not been what it should have been for you? Like you should do something else?
No, I'm still doing it. Have I stopped? No. Have I stopped writing? No. I'm still writing. I have beliefs.
Now, how do you get through the struggle? Because that's what I hear. I hear it. I can't lie to you. Like, it's frustrating. It's you want more, like we all do. You sound like you've done all of the stuff that I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
But
So
go ahead.
So here's my hope.
There we go.
Hope
I like
is
hope.
I love hope.
Me too.
So my hope is Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken at age 65, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
So Colonel Sanders is one of my mentors, and one of the people that I say, okay, if he could do it, I could do it.
That's right.
So people like him, and there was a famous artist named Grandma Moses, and she started at age 80, and she became really famous at age 80.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not starting at age. I'm almost at age 70. I'm not starting at age 70. I'm still going at age 70, but I haven't found the right thing or the right niche that has made me that abundant, or the law of attraction, or the millionaire mind, or because I've done all those workshops, and I've done all that kind of stuff, and know that sometimes there's contrast involved in becoming a Grandma Moses. There's contrast in becoming Colonel Sanders. He had the 65 years before, or maybe he had no success. Same with Grandma Moses. Maybe he had 80 years with no success, but didn't give up. And that's where I am. I'm saying, all right, I'm just gonna do the next right thing today. And getting old makes it a little harder. And but you just take. I'm taking baby steps. I'm not taking big, huge steps like when I was little. I just know that baby steps are what I need to take today.
What you said you were looking for that particular niche. Who is the audience that you're looking for? That, of course, if you're the pricing of your actual art $4,000 plus. So who would be your ideal audience, your dream client?
Well, here's one of the things that I didn't do when I was professional artist. When I was an artist, I had a restaurant want me to take their restaurant and do the art for their restaurant, and that's what they wanted me to do. And at that point, I didn't have enough confidence. I said, "Well, I don't think I'm that good. I don't know what I would do. And what if they didn't like what I created? And how am I gonna do it?" And so I had that experience, and I backed away from being successful because of fear and so I think I needed to go through some more of realization that, hey, I know that I'm good. I know
Yes,
that
you
I
are.
know that I'm real everybody that not everybody, but most people find my art fascinating, find it amazing, and so I know that, and I know that when people the three or four people that have read my book entirely really they
So
really
sweet.
like the three that have read it
The
really
three.
thought it was great. I was talking to a friend. He said this. He says, "Listen, sometimes you just need one person to read it, like Oprah. Oprah can read.
Right.
Oprah could find your book, and bam, you're like, bam,
That's it.
you're it. Yeah, that's all you need is just one person, bam, and that's it. It's
Hmm.
like, yep, that's the truth. That's the
But you're
truth.
still running behind the question, though. The question was, who is your dream client?
Who's my dream client?
See, and you're laughing again. That was pretty good. How you? I do that too. That I talk around the question to try to. So what was
Listen,
it?
I work
Oh,
I work for God, and so whatever
that's a
God
good one. Oh, that's a good one. Come back right there, Willie. You said that was awesome. You can't
he's
beat
my
that.
he's my client, and he knows what I want. He knows what I want, and he will lead me to where I need to go to get what I want. So I know that. I know that my art, I think, needs to get out because it does bring joy to people. That's why
Yes.
I'll ask someone about their tattoo. Oh yeah, I got this tiger because I saw a tiger when I was in Africa, and it just changed my life. And over here I got a dragon because I really believe that there are dragons in the air, and I got a big dragon here, and over here's my mom over here, and I'm thinking, wow, what about the great big one on your back that no one sees, or like, what if you were to put those tattoos on a car? Like everybody then would see it. Everybody be like, wow, that's a cool tattoo on your car. Wow, look at that one. We're not just going down the road seeing white and black and red cars. We're seeing Van Goghs and Pilches and Grandma Moses's on
Yes.
cars. We're seeing something that's like, oh wow, this is kind of fun to go down the road and see art. And I'm gonna suspect they'll probably outlaw because people getting wrecked looking at some piece of art.
But they're right. So collaboration would who would be your ideal collaboration that would be able to, because you mentioned tattoos, you mentioned doing art on restaurants, you mentioned, so what collaboration would be ideal for your art to be sold with? If I can ask you that.
I don't have the answer.
You don't have the answer to that?
I don't have the answer. No.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Because my mind is going to don't worry, we'll talk, my friend. Because so in other words, with your book, with your art, how can at this point we got to get you updated with your website? Is there any way besides Facebook that people can kind of get in contact with you?
What's that?
Besides Facebook, is there any other way that people can get in contact with you?
Uh,
Because on hmm
by telephone or email. Yeah, that's about the only way.
okay. So on Facebook, okay, I got you now. I got you. So I found you. I'm quick on the draw with this social media, my friend. So in regards to if someone is watching the live or the replay, I just wanted to showcase Willie's Facebook page, and this is the right page, right, where people can connect with
Yeah,
you.
that's my page. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I
So
to
that
travel
way, mhm.
travel down that. The little Senora is a piece of art that I did down there. She's a little Senora. Senora is one of my spiritual guides that talks to me, and that's a piece of art that I've done.
Oh,
And
wow.
then those are all pictures from traveling around the country, and then there's
This
a lot
here?
of art. Yeah,
I
all
love it.
of
I love this picture. I've always loved this picture of you, Willie. When I saw that one, that was so you. So I wanted to do something fun because I always like to try to keep it to the hour. I want to respect your time because I do appreciate you doing this live virtual conversation with me and sharing your art with me as well. And just you got my. Well, we're going to talk more in regards to just kind of helping with your whole process and your story. So, with the fun part of it, I do like a top 8, right? So, in regards to any superhero, Willie, like who would be your superhero character? I go out, mine is Flash, because you remember I'm a Delta, the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. What superhero character would you be if you could pick any superhero character? What would Q-Tip be?
I like. Well, I'm thinking of the Greek gods. Those guys are like always been really part of me. What superhero would I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Or what? Which one? Well, I don't really want to be, but Jesus is my one of my favorites. I mean, Jesus really is. He's like a major miracle taker. I mean, he's done a lot for me. Although I don't consider myself a real Christian, but I believe in a lot of the gods. I love dragons, and Batman would be one of them. So it's hard to choose, but I'll think about it and give you some answers.
I'll go with Jesus. We can keep with that one. That was the second one in second week. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, so if you could eat any food, Willie, without weight or anything being of nature, of matter, what food would you eat all day, every day?
Pizza.
Come on, pizza. I love it. Is it a special kind of pizza? Like,
Oh, it doesn't matter. I love any kind of pizza except for with anchovies. I don't like anchovies and capers. I don't like it, but I like most any kind of pizza. And I've always loved pizza. That's my favorite food.
okay, all right, I like it. So I'm from Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? Where are you originally from, and where do you call home now?
I'm originally from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I call Fort Collins, Colorado home.
Nice, nice. Okay. So my next one is in regards to travel, right? I've been to 48 out of the 50 states. I've been to some in that international travel. Where would you say that your travel destination that was the best location you've been to? Which one would you pick and why?
Well, I picked Colorado because that's where I'm living now. I love Colorado, and I love the mountains, and I love the people, and but other than like Colorado, I love Michigan. I love the people and the people in. I fell in love. People said, "Don't go to Michigan. Don't go to Detroit. It's too scary there." I was like, I went there. I said, I don't listen to people.
Well, I used to live in Toronto, so Toronto was my favorite. Like the people there, the cultures, my cousin played professional basketball there as well, Chris Bosh. And so when I lived there for 7 years, it was like everybody, it's like a little Spanish town, Jamaica town. You can go anywhere within Toronto. I truly enjoyed it.
Yes, I've never been there. I want to go there.
You gotta check out the T-Dot. Okay, so and the next question for you is there a particular season, day, or an actual time of year? My time is actually November 20th, 2023, my sobriety date. So we talked a little bit about rebirth, and that's when I felt like my rebirth, like the old people pleasing Adrian was gone away type thing. So that is my new date, being 21 months sober and just moving forward. Do you have like a day or a season or a time that stands out for you that is kind of like
love the fall. I love Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love
the holidays?
I love trees. I love the coolness. I don't like hot weather. I love the coolness and not too cold. Although in Colorado it gets a little cold in the fall.
I was going to say in Colorado, though, Willie.
I love Halloween. I love dressing up, and every year I dress up as something weird or something fun.
Do you really still dress up now?
Still do it, yeah.
I love it. What were you gonna be, or do you know what you're gonna be this Halloween?
Last year I was a hippie. I haven't decided.
Oh my god.
Might be one of those Power Rangers. I don't know.
which, you know, which one are you gonna be? I will be the red one. So, thank you. You know what? Really, you're a mess. All right. Thank you for that question. And I got two more for you. So I do something called the one word. So if you had one word to describe yourself, you know, my word being resilient. So anything that's thrown my way, I'm gonna. It might take me a second, but I'm gonna tackle it on full head. Do you have one word that you actually would stand out for your brand, or what would represent you? And I'll put you on the one word law. Mm-hmm.
um, I guess openness. Openness. I'm open to whatever comes my way.
I like that. Okay, awesome. And then the last question I have for you, my friend, is, in regards to if you could chat young Q-Tip, young Willie on the shoulder, and give him some piece of advice, in regards to life. What advice would you actually give him, and what would that advice be?
Quit taking it personally.
That was easy.
He takes everything personally. Why are they doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Why is this going on with me? Why did I hurt my arm yesterday? Why is it? Why are they not?
Right. Oh, the one question I skipped that I love to ask though. Do you have a book or a movie that motivated you, in regards to your mindset to kind of help you through, or that you kind of really enjoy?
My favorite of all times is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
That's my favorite movie.
That's your favorite one?
Yeah, because Jack Nicholson reminds me of my brother Greg, and how he got put into a mental institution, and he acted just like Jack Nicholson.
So this one here, I haven't seen this one in a while. It's been a minute because my mother used to. I remember it.
Yes, he reminded me of Jack Nicholson, and just his wit and his intellect, and the way he was put into the institute because of drugs back put in the crazy house because of drugs, and they didn't have treatment centers back in the day. And Jack Nicholson was put in there in that movie because of drinking and drugging.
Well, Willie, this conversation has been a treat for me because it's been one of creativity, God designed, and just openness and being authentic and honest. I do want to thank you for actually just kind of taking the first step and just sharing your story and kind of what rebirth means to you, as well as spirituality, as well as your beautiful eye for art. Is there anything else in regards to just this conversation in general? Because this is just the beginning. Like, you're kind of stuck with me now. You know that already. But is there anything else in regards to just kind of your brand or you that you want to share?
No, I just want to say you have been absolutely amazing, and I got to go on a walk, and everything I looked at, I thought I saw a bumblebee, and I thought, oh God, this is Adriana. She's amazing, and she's a hard worker. And I saw a flower, I thought, oh, she's so beautiful. I just love this girl. And I saw a woodpecker pecking wood. I said, man, she just keeps pecking. She doesn't stop pecking. That woodpecker kept pecking, and on and on and on the whole day. I just everything I come across that was just beautiful and wonderful, it was you. And that's all I'd like to leave with is, because it's not about me. It's about my connection with others, and that gave me a whole day of connection with you that I once I'm out of myself, I feel a whole lot better.
I love that, Willie. I was just telling people too, when you went to go get the art, about when you said me about the woodpecker, like that, those moments help, like, just lets me know that I'm just going in the right direction and within the journey, and just helping other people as well as helping each other, because you're stuck with me as I share with you. So it's been 2 years, and it's going to be 2 years until, and I'm so thankful for you to come on this live conversation with me, my friend. I truly appreciate you. And just so hold on one second. I want to get a testimonial from you, but I want to go ahead and wrap up with this. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Q-Tip, Willie, Q-Tip. Oh, Pilch, rebirth, spirituality, and the power of reinvention. Like the conversation today, openness. This is one word. being open and authentic, I truly, I was not prepared for the conversation. I can be honest to say that, but and seeing this beautiful art, and it's sometimes, the conversations I would say is for the audience. Even Willie asked me before to share how many people viewed, but today I felt like this conversation may have been for me. I felt God within our conversation today, and just the things that I'm building in regards to helping people and my purpose for being here is nothing but the true design of what I described, what Willie and I discussed today. To quit taking it personal, and to literally grow and build within your own journey. I'm so thankful that God put Willie in my life and just has so many different things. I have no idea what they are, but I just feel God's presence within our talk today. So hopefully you were able to get as much as I did. and if you are watching a replay, please, don't hesitate to reach out to, in regards to comments in the replay as well. But building billionaire brands, it takes a moment. And the one thing that stood out too from the conversation is being an entrepreneur is one of the loneliest sports in the world. Like, we both have a connection to playing basketball in the past, and just hearing the story about his brothers is mind breaking for me, and it makes me emotional. But I know that everything happens for a reason, and so I'm just so thankful that, like Willie said, we're here. God has me exactly where I'm supposed to be today. And as long as I keep going and trust the journey, and the key thing, like I said, you're not alone. And got Adrian Mays, your AI cash story captain. So let me go get this testimonial from Willie. Oh my gosh, I'm so full. I will, I shall be victorious. What up though, Detroit, Michigan? Deuces. Thank you so much for joining.